So let's just start simple. What party are you for?
Republican.
Okay, fair enough. Uh, if is there any way you want to change school that you haven't done already?
Is what?
Is there any way you want to change school that you haven't done already?
Change
Or
what? Sorry.
change school?
School. What do you mean school?
School, like, is there anything you want to improve, change, or about
Yeah.
school?
Oh, you're talking about education.
Yes, I guess I should have
Well,
said
well, the
education.
federal government actually doesn't deal much with education. We deal with K through 12 education mainly actually done at the state level. That is actually an issue that you should talk to your governor candidates. Well, we do have some funding, but we need to fix education. We do a lot of with college education, which really has to be reform. Our higher ed education is very expensive for people and the government. That's a different discussion that we need to talk about higher ed. By K through 12 education, pretty much 95% are controlled at the state level, and it really has to be fixed. Really, we need to have a better value, better outcomes, and better options. A lot of young people should be able to get fundamentals through the middle school, and then be able to in the high school actually get much more advanced skills that will be able to get them in the workforce or whatever they want to pursue.
Okay. Is there any if you went to the election, sorry, if you won the election, is there any other spots in the government you want to take, like governor of Indiana per se?
Listen, I have to be able to govern and deliver on things. So right now I'm working on policies, and I hope I get a chance to work in the Republican majority with Republican president, and then we can work on some big issue like fixing economy, healthcare. National debt is going to be very, very bad for a lot of young people if we don't fix it soon. And securing the border. This is an issue needs to be done and stopping some very serious wars. So there are a lot of issues, but really it goes back to finances. Finances of our country is in trouble, and healthcare is one of the major drivers of debt. Personal debt, one of the exposures, and insolvency for medical debt, and national debt because we give a lot of money to big special interest groups, and it needs to stop.
Okay. So is there anything with education that you think it needs to be taught?
I think we need to be teaching fundamentals. People should be able to have basic skills. We need to know history, mathematics, be able to read, and then you can use these fundamental skills to pursue whatever careers you want because you really learn by doing the job, not at school. School teach you good. We have economists, we have scientists, centuries of knowledge. So most of us are not geniuses at inventing formulas, but we need to learn this knowledge and then utilize and advance it with a lot of advancement technologies. This knowledge can bring a lot of innovation. So schools to give you fundamentals so you are well versed, good thinker and problem solver, can think through things. You can actually be able to filter through information, and it's becoming even harder and harder now because you have so much of it. But that fundamentals will help you then to on practice utilize it and innovate and do your own things. That's what schools need to be about because you really learn everything by doing the work when you get in a real job, get in a real workforce, and then you figure out what you want to do.
Okay. Uh, what is your opinion on the term length for the House?
On the which lane?
On what's your opinion on the length of the term for the House?
Well, listen, I mean, it was a reason, that was done like that. It makes it difficult, 2 years makes it difficult, to because you constantly have to, govern, you kind to be able to campaign, fundraise, but it was done for a reason. It was done because honestly, just because our founding fathers wanted to make sure that if we don't like our representatives, we can get rid of them quicker. So I don't mind it. I think the federal government need to think what things we're doing and not doing correctly and how many things we're doing. I think if our job would go to core functions of federal government, we would be able to make, do a better job. But now we do a lot of functions that should be done by the states. So we need to revamp our structure because we have so many responsibilities, almost everything. Now everything should be done by federal government, where we have national defense, we have border security, we have foreign policy, we have interstate commerce and constitutional rights, but a lot of issues like education and healthcare actually are state issues, except for dealing interstate commerce. So a lot of this issue needs to be pushed back to the states. States have much more, closer to people. They have much more agility, and they will be able to respond to issues much faster than federal government. It sometimes takes us decades, to pass one bill. Very, very difficult. And that's what not bad. A lot of these issues very hard to reconcile. And that's why everyone, instead of working on issues, just spends more money, and we don't have the money. So I think if we go back to core functions, our jobs would be better and proper, but we need to set up structures to actually, the Congress has set up structures to govern. We don't have enough people to help us to do our job. So we need to rethink about it. So it's a structural issues we have more, but I'm fine. I think that was the intent, and I'm fine with 2 years. It's fine.
So with your experience in politics, for the people who like politics and want to get into the government, what do you have to say to them?
Be involved. I think it's very important. This is like your duty, where you have to be informed. So when you go and learn what's happening, it makes you more better thinker and better engaged voters, because we need to have educated electorates that understands that politicians cannot just spend a lot of money and sell lies. A lot of, advertising, unfortunately, not very honest, it's who has more money to be able to succeed. And that's not a good, way for us to govern. So I think when you get involved, you learn more, you understand issues, you understand people, and you become much better. I got involved with politics, as a Tea Party organizer, as a young person, and I've been in the trenches with a lot of older people. A lot of them now are dead and not in politics anymore. They were great Americans, but I learned as a young person a lot from them, being on the ground for many, many years before I myself decided, actually was pushed to run for office, but good people. But I think it's important, that you actually inform and learn, especially when you're young, go in the trenches. Any hard work, any experience in life will pay off for you, because you will know what's happening. That's how you learn. And that's how you're going to be better thinker, and not someone will be manipulating you in your opinion, because you'll know where the truth is, what is right, what is wrong. My young kids, I have teenage kids closer to a lot of age at your high school, and I actually have a high schooler being around me, not because they wanted, because they had to be around me when they were young. And a lot of times they're like, oh, mom, this is just brainwashing. They see the difference, and they see, they see what politicians say and where the truth is. It helps you to mature and be better thinker. And that's something a lot of young people should do way more than we're doing right now.
Okay, few more questions. Why should new voters vote for you?
Listen, it's a great honor. It's a huge responsibility. And I'll tell you one thing, I go in trenches and willing to stand up for the people. And it's going to be, machine is very, very tough right now. And we need more people that want to look at it as a tour of duty, not as a job, and actually willing to fight for we the people. And, in this challenging time, I grew up under very tyrannical and oppressive government. And as a young person, I came here very, it's very adventurous and very inspired by ideas of freedom. And that's what I want, is freedoms to be able to, for my children and your children, to be able to have American dream. And I'm willing to fight for that. And I'm not afraid to challenge, including my own party, not just the other side. Much harder to challenge your own party than the complain about the other side. And I have a track record of proven result delivering. I was able to, even on the Democrats, pass 12 bills into law on a narrow basis. But unfortunately, they're very, very far apart on a lot of issues. But I deliver results and fight for these results. Delivering is very, very difficult in Washington, D.C., but I know what it takes. And my personal experiences, business experiences, and determination helps me to fight this battle. And I hope I have an honor representative, the great people of Indiana again.
Okay, a quick question. What do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I like to travel a lot, but I've been traveling so much. So I feel like I would actually like to spend few days not traveling. So that probably would be something, enjoyable for me, and read a book. I used to read a lot of, books that I wanted to read. Now I only read things I feel I need to read. And sometimes a lot of stuff I don't like to do that. But really, I would like to spend more time even with my family. So just because this job is very, very demanding, very, very demanding. But I think, I would encourage more young people to travel and go to some other countries too, if you have a chance to see the difference and what great country we are. That really helps us to broaden your horizons and understand what's happening, and gets you more informed, because whatever you see in life with your own eyes, it cannot be replaced. You cannot read it in books, and but someday I would like to do fun stuff too, and just really, just spend some time, just reflecting on things. And that's a lot of times in our busy life we don't have, but we do need to take time for that.
Okay, one last question. For the new voters, what's your message to them?
Well, listen, I think, this fight and these elections are extremely, extremely important. And it's extremely important for a lot of new voters and young people, because we will be deciding the future of our country for actually you young people and your children and grandchildren. And we do need to have good economy. We need to have secure our border and good opportunities. And I think we have to start governing, because I think our country has enormous, enormous opportunities and innovation. We can bring so much, even with all of the things that are happening right now on the ground in businesses and AI. There are some things, that we need to fix, make sure that there are not abuses of the system. But all of this innovation can bring a lot of prosperity, can bring a lot of good jobs back to the communities. We actually, unfortunately, with bad policies, we lost to countries like China, who are not our friends. So if we have good policy, we can be very strong, great country. And I think that is very important for us to think about that. It's not about personality. It's not about whatever you like on Twitter or not. It's about a governing and who can bring good policies and prosperity and strength to the country, because our republic still very strong, but we've been moving in a very radical directions with elites in Washington, D.C. wanted to control us, and they will be billionaires and want to have all of us equally poor and be pulling some strings like puppets. But that's not what America is about. We're strong individuals, strong people, and we need to, take some power back from DC, back to the people. So this is extremely important election. I think for young people, a lot of these old people that vote for a lot of these issues, they have enough money for, for them. This is the money that we run out now. You will be paying a high price if politicians don't get their act together. And so much corruption that happened in Washington, D.C., it's unacceptable. We're making a lot of wealthy people there at the expense of the rest of Americans. So it's not right. So we need to be tougher, but we need to push back on government. So your vote really does matter. It's really a lot of these elections will be very, very close, unfortunately. So every vote counts. And you cannot complain if you don't go and vote, but be thoughtful and think through issues. Don't just buy a lot of advertising. Advertising, mostly, believe me, it's a lot of it, 90% not true. That's unfortunate reality, that you cannot even get the right information. That's why come to talking to people. I'm actually the only legislator who does town halls. I think that gives me an opportunity. In-person town halls, please come sometimes to my town halls too. Because you can ask any questions. We don't filter questions. We can have conversation. We might agree, might disagree, but that's what a dialogue in a free republic should be about. We should be able to talk to each other and resolve issues. And sometimes we might find more in common than you think. You'd be surprised what you hear and read in newspaper might not be exactly what you will hear from me. So I would encourage young people, be active, participate, and active citizens, but be well informed. And that's by getting engaged, voting. That is a part of, I think it's a civic duty. It's a responsibility to keep country strong.
Okay, well, that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Maybe sometimes we'll visit you and we'll have a better conversations and longer a little bit. Sorry, I have to.
Yeah,
My day's a little crazy, but maybe we can do it sometimes and I can visit your school and we'll just talk to
that would
more
be
students.
that would be nice.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I have your info. I'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
you too.